Marc Deperno coming in. Sitrin's wheelchair basketball event is coming up, and it's the, believe it or not, this is there's a milestone here as we reach the 15th annual Sitrin Celebrity Classic Wheelchair Basketball Game, and it'll be happening on April 13th at 6:30. And the Clark Athletic Center over at Utica College. Marc Deperno is in. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bill. Thanks for having me.
Okay, excited. Here we go again. I can't believe it's been 15 years.
You know, the time flies, but when you have great things happening, it's such a supportive community. 15 years that Utica College has welcomed us back, among other facilities, over the course of time. Yourself included, being involved for very many years. Thank you.
I'm excited about it, and I've gone back. You don't realize what it's like and how challenging it is to use these wheelchairs until you get on there and you flip one.
That's the big part.
Which I've done a few times.
Unfortunately, that's the big part of the process, is helping to raise awareness in the community. People often see somebody with an impairment, a disability, a wheelchair user, for example, and maybe think, you know what, feel bad for them. They're having tough times in life. Guess what? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. We're all having tough times in life. It happens. But they're overcoming, they're persevering, they're doing great things. Basketball is one way to prove that. And just to showcase their ability against, people in the community. They're very visible to help our program. As you have done for very many years, we wanted to showcase that ability and also raise money for these programs.
By the way, last year we were, did Senator Griffel make it last year?
He did not make it.
He didn't. And it's my fault. And believe me, we flew back. We were in New York City for the MMA announcement.
That's right.
I remember last year. And I don't know what miles per hour I was hitting, but let me tell you, we were flying.
I know you tried.
The senator was nervous.
We just could not get back.
Bill was doing these octi shots.
Oh, it was, and I couldn't. I was, because we were up early to do the show. And then we did the MMA event, and then we drove back, and I'm falling asleep at the wheel. These guys are all sleeping. This is what happens. Even the senators, like, I got to get a little nap in because I got to the wheelchair basketball tonight. And I'm, like, driving and falling asleep. So that's when I began my therapy. It's called octi shots. So it'd be 8 shots of espresso. Wow. It's incredible. I was pulling the car over on the side, running around the car, and getting back in and driving. That's probably why we didn't make it.
Please don't do that before you get in a wheelchair.
I promise I won't. So, but ultimately, we missed last year, but every year you bring in some headliners.
That's right.
So who's on the list this year?
So headlining, of course, the Syracuse men's basketball team. They're 2 outstanding seniors, both John Gillon and Andrew White,
nice.
Along with our longtime supporter, Olympian, and 2-time world champion Erin Hamlin comes back every year. Yourself
awesome.
included. She is amazing.
Yeah.
She is a stud in terms of an athlete and a person, just a great giving person. We're going to see the mayor, Paul Mary, Anthony Pacenti, Joe Griffo, yourself, many others. A
bunch of media people.
Our own Jim Rondinelli.
Our own Jim Rondinelli.
And I wonder, you're reaching 15 years this year. So what has happened in 15 years?
Boy, a lot.
And the game actually is a great fundraiser and does all of those things. But at the end of the day, for 15 years, there's been a real emphasis on taking care of these people that become athletes.
You betcha. The concept 16 years ago was just to try to provide an opportunity for those in the community with impairments that maybe went through rehab at Sitrin or anywhere for that matter and want to get back into the community through sport. And it started off with the Boilermaker, and then shortly thereafter, wheelchair basketball. And this kind of manifested and spiderwebbed from there to curling and kayaking, canoeing, shooting.
Yeah.
And as a result, we've multiple Paralympians that have achieved the greatest success, representing their country at the highest level. We've had hundreds of folks that have just tried sport for the first time and realized, you know what, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can go on the water. I can play basketball. I can do the Boilermaker. Many challengers have done the Boilermaker, have gotten racing chairs. Herman Garrett, great example, who's overcome adversity, and now he travels the world and wins marathons. I mean, just
it's incredible, and he is so determined, and he's great athletes. And in some cases, these are people that were born with a handicap. In other cases, it's something that developed later, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, can almost be more difficult for someone.
Yeah, most folks will tell you that. The congenital birth defect, that person's often going to say, it's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
Not easy, but it's all. And then you get somebody like Jimmy Joseph or Herman Garrett says, you know what? Boy,
Herman's story is unbelievable. I believe his injuries came from when he was injuries he suffered from the war-torn country he came from.
That's absolutely correct.
And the story's even more
Bosnia.
Even more bizarre than that. In that, because he was in here one day and he told us a story, and I hope I'm getting this right. There was like a bomb blast or something, and he was injured but was okay, and he was being taken to the hospital, and like the ambulance got T-boned, and that was how he suffered the injury.
That's right. That's correct.
What a great guy! What a
again,
great athlete. These guys to be able to travel the world and compete is really is incredible. I do want to bring up one thing that I'm a little worried about. Sheriff Mayshall is very competitive. I mean, he'll knock somebody over if he has
and
to.
He's a big boy.
And he's a big boy, yeah. So beware of that. But it's these types of people that are out there, and it's a great event.
Can I ask as well, you mentioned Sheriff Mayshall. Of course, last weekend was the Cops for Celebrities game, and I had the privilege of taking part in that. Jim Rondinelli was there rooting me on, and he said, I'm glad you're doing this, and, because I can't get out there and run around. And I said, Jim, the wheelchair game is tougher than this is, If you're playing in this game, maybe, and Bill and Jim should know this, obviously a lot of arm work. Do curls for bicep, or are you working more the shoulder?
Shoulders and triceps in particular.
Okay.
Those are the two muscle groups. Triceps to push the chair, and for the extension for the shot of the basketball. But you bet shoulders and tries are really going to help you.
It's amazing when you try to do a jump shot and you're not jumping, and you're in the chair. It really uses all different muscles, and it really is. It's a challenge. You wouldn't see it when you're watching it, but if you sit down in that chair and do it, it's incredible. Yeah. Okay, other things people should know.
Well, certainly tickets are available at Sitrin currently. You can call 737-2406. They will be available at the event, but do be aware the event typically sells out. We're talking about 1,200 people coming to Utica College. Doors open at 6 p.m. again, April 13th. Game starts at 6:30. Be aware that Andrew White and John Gillon will be engaging in a 3-point competition at halftime against two lucky fans. Give yourself a chance, a dollar chance, to maybe face off in that really cool once-in-a-lifetime experience. There's concessions. There's a lot of silent auction items.
Well, Andrew White, all-time Syracuse three-point shooter now.
Yeah.
Took, in a single season, took Jerry's record.
That's
there.
right.
So it might be a challenge.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it. Again, to get tickets again, phone call, website, all that.
737-2406, Sitrin.com, or at Utica College. Again, April 13th. Thank you so much.
And, of course, all proceeds benefit the Sitrin Stars Adaptive Sports Program.
Thanks, Bill.
As always, thank you.